Hello students. So today we are working on a little bit of kind of like a survey for food for users of our program. So this is 2.4 part 2 lesson for Python programming. So as you can see here in the prompt and in the starter code that we were given, which is this block, we were given a list of food, which is an array of different strings. We have here donuts, pancakes in the first index position, bacon in the second index position. And then we also have a score list. And in the score list, each one of these zeros in the list and the indexes themselves correspond to different parts of our food list, right? So donuts here corresponds to this. Pancakes, which is our second item in the list, and the first index corresponds to this 0, and so on until the final 0 right here corresponds to our bagels item in our list. And then we're going to ask the user input for different questions that we vaguely kind of use as rules for what we think the user will like. So here you can see in our first example, we ask the user input of, do you like food with holes? If they say yes, then we correspond that with a point in the score for our donuts and a point in our score for the bagels. So the way to read this is that in our 0th position of the score list, we're going to change it to score 0 plus 1. And since we start at 0, we're basically just saying, hey, increase this by 1. And further down the line, this kind of notation will make sense because instead of just saying, hey, score is equal to, 2, because I know it was 1 before, I'm saying, hey, you know what, just add 1 to it, just increment it, as we say in programming. So I'm going to continue this with some of these questions that I have made up on my own. You can see here my very first question is an input of, do you like syrup on your food? And what I'm going to correspond that to is pancakes, and I'm going to correspond that with waffles as well. So here I'm going to say and I'm going to go back and get tabbed up, and I'm going to say score of my pancakes position, which will be 1, is equal to score. I'm going to say 1, and I'm going to add 1 to it. And again, we're using 1 right here as our index because it is in the 1 position. Donuts again are in 0, pancakes are in 1, and I'm going to add 1 to it. So I'm going to make it equal to score itself plus 1. And then I'm also going to do that for waffles as well. And of course, to make my life easy, I'm going to go ahead and copy that, and I'm going to paste it. And then the waffles, you can see, is in the second, third index. And I'm going to put 3 right here and 3 right here as well. And so now I've basically given them more score if they like syrup on their food and said, hey, give them more score for both pancakes and waffles. And that's all there is to that part. And we're going to do this next question. We're going to go ahead and do this next question. We're going to do our fourth question as well. And I'll go ahead and show you what I've written for the rest of them so that we can see the output. So here the user input, the question we're asking is, do you like protein for breakfast? So here, if they do like protein for breakfast, I'm going to give them points in both bacon and eggs. What I'm going to do is, since I really already have like this broad outline of this scoring piece that I keep doing, I am going to just copy and paste, and then I'm going to change my indexes. So here, if they like protein for breakfast, I'm saying that corresponds to bacon, which is at the second index. And then eggs, which is at the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4th index. So here, if I actually type the number 4, that would make a lot more sense for you. And that's all there is to it. So I'm giving more score to those particular score indexes. Now this last question that I'm going to show you, and then I'm going to go ahead and show you the rest of the inputs that I've made, is, do you like meat with your breakfast? If you do like meat with your breakfast, the answer is going to be corresponding to bacon. So you can see here, I'm just going to do 2 because that's the only one, and it's equal to score 2 plus 1. And that's all there is to it. My remaining question is, does your breakfast have to be healthy? If it is, I just say that you like eggs and bagels. If your input is, do you like your food made sunny side up? Since that's bacon, eggs, and pancakes, I've given those indexes the appropriate boosting to their score. If they like ketchup on their food, I like ketchup on my eggs, so I've given a point to that score as well. And then that final input that I have here is, do you like having a spread on your breakfast food? I would relate that to, I would relate liking a spread on your breakfast food, if we go back up, to both donuts and bagels. So like in the case of donuts, it would be more like cream on top of your donut or icing. And then of course bagels, you could have like cream cheese or something. So the final part of our project here, or our lab, is that we basically want to figure out what the top item is that the user selected. So here you can see I've added some code. This is all from Google, so if you do need help with this, feel free just to copy what I've written down. It's basically the same thing, but just in the sake of time and how difficult it might be, we're just getting the top item in our list, right? So we are basically doing our top score index, which is a variable. We're equaling it to score, and then we're going to find the index right here of the highest item in the score list. And that's going to return us a number, which is an index corresponding to an item in our favorite food list. So here, remember the notation for a particular item in the list is the list itself, square brackets, and then the index of the item, which in this case, we've just grabbed through top score index. And then we're just going to print out your favorite food is blank. So here you can see I've already ran the code and it gives me pancakes when I put in these answers. So feel free to pause it and check those out if you like. But just to go ahead and test it again, I'm going to say that I think I can target it. So maybe my favorite food is donuts, or you know what? How about bagels? So do I like my food with holes? That's yes for bagels. Do I like it with syrup? No. Do I like protein? No. Do I like meat? No. Does my breakfast have to be healthy? I'm going to say yes so I can get bagels. If it's made sunny side up, no, because that is not bagels. I do not like ketchup on my food. I would like having a spread on my breakfast food. And you can see here, my favorite food is bagel, folks, and that is how you complete Lab 2.4. Thank you very much.